Hey Busters, I've got an experiment planned. This isn't the first time I'm going to try doing hot water irrigation. Come along and let's see how that turns out. Hi YouTube, and welcome back to all my Buster buddies. Hey, it's your big kahuna here, Brad, and this is Brad's Boredom Busters, your tie-dye art channel. Yep, all right, I am going to try my first go at hot water irrigation. My buddy Greg from Goyo's Garden and Tie-Dye, he had a video out not too long ago before he had to go into the hospital for his surgeries. And he did one where he was using just empty tie-dye bottles to apply the hot water. And so I got thinking, hey, I've got one of those instant kettles. What if I just heat it up and then pour the water straight out of that onto the shirt? Let's see how that turns out. The pattern I'm going to try to do with this project is the flame pattern. I've done it in a liquid dye fashion and it came out looking like this. And so if you're interested in seeing that shirt, I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. And so I'm going to tie it up and apply the dye in the same way that I would if I was doing it as a liquid dye. So the flame pattern is basically just a scrunched up shirt, and then you apply the dye in a zigzag pattern. So after I scrunch up the shirt, I'll apply the powdered dye in the same zigzag pattern before I apply the hot water, and we'll see if it comes out looking the same as a liquid dye shirt. Alright, so what you're going to need for this project is a 100% cotton t-shirt in white. You need to pre-wash that first and then soak it in soda ash solution for 20 minutes. Stick it in your wash and spin out as much moisture as you can. I've done that. My shirt's waiting over here at the work table. The other things you're going to need, and this is kind of up to you. I'm going to tie it up with kite string. You can use rubber bands to tie it up. It's up to you. I am going to use then a washable marker to just lay out the pattern. Also, because I'm using kite string, I'll need a pair of scissors just to trim it. That's about all you'll need for your tools for this project. And then obviously you'll need hot water. At my old house we had an Insta-Hot, but since we've moved in here we bought one of those Insta-Hot kettles. And so I'm going to be using that on this here project. All right. Let's head over to the work table and get the shirt all scrunched up and tied and ready to go. Okay, Busters, so I think we can just start scrunching this up. Start in the middle and just, it's better if you can make small little scrunches. So just take your time with it. But I'll speed through this. Enjoy the music. Okay, that's the scrunch. Now the challenge is getting it tied up so it doesn't kind of taco up, but you want it to stay kind of firm. So let's get that done. That's primarily the reason I like to use kite string on this particular pattern, so I can control the tension. Rubber bands, well, one, I don't have rubber bands that would stretch this far, so I choose to use the kite string just because I can control it a little better. So that is our scrunch. Not too bad. So what we want to keep track of is, obviously this is the collar, and so this is the bottom hem. And so we want to do, and like I say, you want to make this kind of, these zigzags kind of small. But we're going to start here, kind of come up high, then down, like that, up again, down, up again, and down. And that should be pretty good. You can go up a little higher with this one. Like that. Okay. And maybe we'll take that up. Like I said, we can play with this when we're applying the powder dye. That's how you lay out the flames on this shirt pattern. All right. So now we can take this out to the laundry sink in the garage. I've got a rack that I'll put this on, and then we can start applying the dye. So I'll see you out in the garage. All right, Busters, so here we are at the laundry sink. I'm all set up. I've got a nice tall stand that I can use to do the water irrigation. It elevates up the shirt so I don't have to reach in so far with the kettle. So let me go over the colors we're going to be using on this. So I'm going to use bright yellow, deep yellow, Chinese red, and new black. Okay, so let's start applying the dye. We start first with our Chinese red. The first two colors, the Chinese red and the deep yellow, you want to apply kind of thinly along your triangular pattern. And then next is our bright yellow. That fills in the rest of this triangular pattern. So that's all the dye for the flame. And our next color will be our new black. And then what you can do, just for a little touch of kind of looking like embers in the flames, put just a little specks of black in the yellow. There you go. All right, so that's all the dye. So then the next thing that is very necessary with hot water irrigation is applying an ample amount of soda ash, dry soda ash. I know we've soaked our shirt, but now because we're going to be flooding it with hot water, we need to make sure there's enough soda ash to help the dye bond to the shirt so it doesn't just wash all the soda ash out that's been soaked into the shirt. So we need to apply more just to help it. Okay, I think we're good there. All right, so now it's time to go put the water on the boil in the kettle. I'll go do that, and we'll bring that right back out here and apply it. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, Busters, so I have a nice hot kettle here. You saw we had a nice big rolling boil, so let's get into this and see what we can create. Let's see, where am I going to start? I guess over here. I don't want to splash too much, but... Alright, Busters, well, I think I might make a little bit more water because I still see some undissolved dye. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see what the second application of water gets me. Alright, so that makes it look like I think all our dye is dissolved. So that's great. So now, as I understand it, the shirt can sit for 20-30 minutes, certainly until it cools off. And then we can rinse it out and then wash it as normal as you would any tie-dye shirt the first time around. So like I say, once this cools off, I'll rinse it off. We'll start with cold water, flush out the soda ash solution, and then I'll turn it up to hot to flush out any dye that hasn't bonded with the fabric. And then it'll go in the laundry on a hot wash cycle with detergent and Synthropol, which is a professional textile detergent. And you can get all these tools, chemicals, and materials that I use in my videos down in my affiliate links. So go check that out. It's down in the description below. Anyway, and so then after I get this washed out, we'll do a reveal. See if it came out as good as the liquid dye version. Right now, it's not looking so good, but, you know, it's an experiment. We'll give it a shot, see what we get. All right. Well, I'll see you at the reveal. Thanks for watching. Okay, Busters, so here is the finished shirt. When I did the hot water irrigation, it was late, and so I actually didn't wash this out that same night. I stuck it in one of my curing tubs, and actually I didn't get to it for a couple days. But this is the results. So, as my thumbnail said, an experiment, success or not? Yes and no. Obviously, we don't have the flame pattern like on my liquid dye shirt, but what we got here in the black areas and down in the red and yellow areas, very interesting. So it's not the results I expected, but I'm kind of happy with these results. Color splits and just color change up here in the black area, which is very cool. The transitions down in the deep yellow and the Chinese red, kind of sad I put the black over the yellow. That probably, well, I didn't know, but I wish I didn't do it. It would have looked better without the black in the yellow. But aside from this one corner, I really like everything else. So, hot water irrigation, I mean, not really my thing. I'm not into fast fashion. I do enough of liquid dye, ice dye, gravity dye, and then reverse dye. I think I have a large enough repertoire. I really don't need to add this to my, what I do. But, if you have the right equipment, like the pump sprayer is kind of really what you probably need to do this properly. Just pouring hot water over the shirt. It makes the dye move around too much. I could have probably sprayed it ahead of time with a soda ash solution to kind of settle down the powdered dye, and then maybe it wouldn't have run around quite so much. But for an experiment and not knowing exactly what I was going to get, like I say, this is kind of cool. I mean, if you're just doing, say, a scrunch with just random colors, and then you just pour the boiling water over it and see the color splits that you get, yeah, you might get a really cool, just random pattern shirt. But if you're trying to create a specific pattern, at least the way I did the hot water irrigation, I don't think is going to work. But like I say, I do like the results. I love, how the colors kind of just break apart all up in the dark area and even down here in the red and the orange. So, it's not a success, but it's not a failure. But you tell me in the comments what you think. Was this a success or a failure? If you like it, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Remember, I do have my affiliate links if you need any tools or chemicals or materials for tie-dye. I have all that listed in the description, so you can go help yourself to that. That does help out my channel. And beyond that, I think this is very cool. It's, like I say, an experiment, and you don't know what you're going to get until you get it. And this is what we got, and it's all right. All right. Love you all. Peace out, baby, and go have fun tie-dyeing.